Jackson. Hey, say good morning. Say good morning, everybody. So we got a goat yesterday, and today is going to be our first time milking her at our house. She's already an established milk goat. We got her from one of my friends. Right before I start milking, I like to get everything ready so that when I bring her in, everything's just ready to go. We like to get sweet grain, and I just put a little scoop of sweet grain inside of her little grain thing that's attached to the stanchion. I have my milk bucket hanging up there ready so that when she gets up there, I'm just gonna close this and tie it, you know, wrap it around twice to secure it shut so she can't get her head out, and then I'll start milking. It happens all kind of quick, but I've already been milking. It's bright out here. I've been milking for a long time. It's been a couple years since we've had any animals to milk, but we very first started with milk goats about like 7 or 8 years ago, maybe even more. We started out with having a couple milk goats. We got hooked because the goat cheese is delicious. Homemade goat cheese. That's originally why we started doing it. There's Tina out there. Hi, Tina. Hi. How'd you do out here last night? I just squirt. Hey. I squirt out 1 squirt each on each side, and then it's okay to go up in the bag. And it's more of a squeeze motion to get the milk out. You don't want to grab the teats and slide down. That's not effective. She's a little full right now, so I usually, when they're really full, I find it easiest to milk out one side a little more, like until it's a little loose, and then I'll start working on the other side, and then I can work them together. Like I'm holding at the top, kind of in her bags, and then I'm slowly squeezing down toward where the milk comes out. So it's not just like one solid squeeze all around. You just kind of, like if you were to squeeze something out of a tooth. Like if you hold toothpaste and you're squeezing the toothpaste out, you kind of make that motion. Alex and I, whenever we first got our cow, we were already milking our goats for a while, so we had kind of our strength and stamina built up in our hands, but she took a little longer. She probably made like almost 2 gallons in one milking, and that took a long time. So for the first month that we got her, we both went out and milked her together at the same time, and we'd go on each side, and we would have like we'd have a contest to see who can milk her out faster on our side.
Who usually won?
Me. My friend told us that she probably gets about a half a gallon in one milking. She was only milking her once a day. So once a day at half a gallon, and her last time that she was freshened was last summer in July. So for her to still be giving a half a gallon after a whole year is pretty impressive. Maybe, Taylor, maybe get one more scoop of grain for her, because I'm not sure how she'll start out without grain. So at the end, it's really important that you want to get out all the milk that you can out of her bags. You want to try not to leave any behind, because that will affect her production. It will slow down what she will produce for the next time, and eventually you'll end up drying her up. But come over to the side, come back. I keep squirting myself. So if you've ever seen baby goats or any animal milking on their mom, you'll notice that they bump their bags with their nose as they're milking, and oops, that triggers any more milk that may be left in there to let down. So that's how I do it. I just bump it up a couple times, and don't be afraid to get up into that bag a little more. You don't need to stay just on the teat. So just bump and then slide it out to get out. Plus, you also want to make sure you drain all of it out, because at the bottom is where all the butter fat is going to be. Oops. I am going to be soaking wet after this. And I'm just using one hand right now, and I got this hand here just to make me feel like secure. So if she happens to kick, I'll have a better chance at saving the milk. So once you get down to like this, she's done. She's pretty much done. So I want to move this bucket out of the way. And then real quick, I want to show you guys, I'll set that right there. If you have a goat on the stanchion and you're trying to milk them and they're wanting to kick their back legs, a great way to kind of teach them not to do that, you don't want to hold down low. Goats are really powerful. You don't want to grab down low, because that doesn't do, at that point you're just fighting them. If you go up here, they have, I don't know what this is, the elbow. If you go right above it, you can see right here there's a tendon, and that's where you want to put your hand. See how it bends like that, because there's a tendon right there. So you just want to rest your hand in that spot, and as you can feel when they're about to kick, and when they do that, you squeeze down, you put a little pressure on it, and you're squeezing down on that tendon, so it makes it where they can't really kick up their leg anymore. So if she's a first-time milker, you're definitely going to need a partner to help you out, and you'll want to have your other person, sit on the other side, or wherever they can access, and make sure that they have both hands on each side, because you never know which leg they're going to kick up. So as soon as they kick up, just squeeze slightly, and don't take off that pressure until they've put their leg back down. And once they have sort of relaxed their leg a little bit, then you ease off the pressure, but still keep your hands there in case they are going to kick again, because most likely it's going to be a battle. But it'll take a few times, and once you do that to them, see how it made her go, I want to say limp, but I don't know if that's the right word. It kind of made her lose the strength in her leg like that, so she couldn't kick. But after doing that for a few times, she'll get used to it, and she'll become a better milker, and she might not start to kick at all anymore, and then eventually you don't really need to do that. Good girl. No, you can't have it. And then you want to put your milk up in a safe spot. You don't want to lose all that milk. So now that Ellie is back out in the field, here's my milk. This is a 1 gallon bucket right here, and a lot of the top of that is foam, but she really did give about a half a gallon. She does still have quite a bit of grain left over. I'm gonna go strain her milk now. It's important whenever you're done, you want to get your milk strained and in the fridge cooling off as quickly as possible, because that will help avoid any like goat flavor that it may get. But so whenever you're milking, you don't want to. This first time I gave her a little more grain than I usually would give to a goat when I'm milking them. But this is just because I've never milked her before, and it's been a couple years since I've even milked, so my hands are going to be tired. So that, you know, they really, when you give them that grain, that really distracts them, so you can get your job done. So I normally wouldn't keep giving her as much as I did, but I wanted to make sure that I got her milked out really good. And it's also a bad habit to get into. They will run out of grain probably on you while you're milking, but you don't want to always give in to just filling them full of grain, because they will start to get snotty, and if they run out of grain, they'll start kicking, they'll lose their patience. So if you try to extend that as long as you can when they run out of grain before you have to give them any more, you want to kind of you want to see how long that they'll tolerate you doing that before they'll start kicking, and then you can give them a little bit of grain, depending on how far along you are from being done. But that's personally what I would suggest. Then you don't have to go through as much grain, because they don't really need a whole lot of grain anyways while you're doing that, and it will prevent them from becoming bratty on the stanchion, because that's no fun. You don't want to have to deal with a bratty goat every single time that you're milking and lose a lot of that milk. Okay, so I'm inside, and I'm not as prepared as I probably should have been for straining my milk. So I'm gonna be buying, you don't have to use a stainless steel strainer with filters. You can if you want to, but you can also use like a tea towel, or if you have like a flour sack, even that works to strain out milk really well. They even have sorry they even have nut milk straining bags like that you can use for nut milk, and it's a really fine mesh bag, and that actually will work just as good too to strain out your milk. And then bonus, you can use it for making cheese. But I have a tea towel, a dish towel, but I mean, it's very specific. It needs to be a tea towel. It can't just be any kitchen dish hand towel. But I just made a little bowl inside of there and attached a hair tie so I don't lose it while milking or while straining over my mason jar. Well, the milking is done, and there you have it, you guys. That is 2 quart jars right there, which is a half a gallon of milk. I would recommend using glass jars to store your milk in, whatever size that you need to do. I like to, since we haven't done this in a while, I usually like to have, if my animal or animals I'm milking, if they give like a half a gallon, I like to get the half-gallon jars. If they only do like a quart, then I use a quart jar, or sometimes, like when we had our cow, I had a gallon-sized jar. But I would recommend always using a glass jar to strain your milk into. I think it keeps it more fresh. Plastic kind of has pores. It's a little porous material. So I personally don't like that. I don't know. It's just best to use glass in my opinion. So if you guys can get a hold of any glass jars to strain your milk in, that would be the way to go. So thanks for watching, you guys. I hope you enjoyed it. If you have any questions about milking, just go ahead and drop them in the comments and I'll respond. I've been doing this for a long time now, so I'm a pretty seasoned milker, I think. So let me know what you guys think. Bye.